In 1976, Apple entered into the market with its new invention in the computer market. At that time, it was the one company that tried the hardest to make products that were easy to use, understandable, with sophisticated aesthetics, driving both graphical design on the screen and industrial design of the products. But because of the new MS operating system in the market, it failed. This is what is called a technology cycle, which tells the market that consumers who have grown dependent on electronics are becoming more demanding and constantly want something new. So is this the reason why sometimes good products can fail and inferior products can succeed? A successful product must be balanced. Marketing, technology, and user experience all play critical roles, but one cannot dominate the others. Keeping all these points in mind, Apple is hoping the 5C, which is made of plastic and comes in 5 colors, will put the phone within reach of consumers in fast-growing emerging markets. The 5S, meanwhile, includes an upgrade to an A7 chip and is the first smartphone based on a high-performance 64-bit architecture. It also comes in 3 colors: silver, gold, and space gray. In the early days, technology dominated, but nowadays, who even cares if it's easy to use? All that matters for the consumers is better, faster, cheaper, more powerful technology. And this is the big question in front of the companies to maintain their technology life cycle at a standard level. And at the same time, it is also a big question that every time comes up with new technology. Hello all, and welcome to the lecture on technology life cycles, where we will understand what the technology life cycle is and how a company should maintain its technology life cycle in the market. After the lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand the S-curve of technological progress. Explain the multiple generation technologies. Discuss the technology and market interaction. Define the product life cycle. Explain the diffusion of technology. Let's start with a brief introduction to technology life cycles. New technology presents risk for many customers. They react differently toward this risk based on their innate characteristics, the wants and needs of their companies, and the behavior of other buyers. The Technology Adoption Life Cycle, or TALC, models how different groups of customers adopt to discontinuous innovation at different times. This model helps high-tech marketers build the best strategy for each phase of a product's life. The markets that develop along the TALC and the types of customers that dominate them. Let's discuss the concept of the S-curve of technological progress. The S-curve is a mathematical model also known as the logistic curve. It describes the growth of one variable in terms of another variable over time. S-curves are found in fields from biology and physics to business and technology. In business, the S-curve is used to describe and sometimes predict the performance of a company or a product over a period of time. Anatomy of an S-curve. Systems, whether in business or embryology, that follow an S-curve have the distinctive shape of a flattened S, although the slope of a steep mountain that plateaus at the summit is probably a more accurate description. S-curves and business. Businesses, or the products of businesses that follow an S-curve, are characterized by a shallow start where only early adopters and niche markets buy the product or invest in the company. Technology. Technology businesses such as computer, software, and electronic manufacturers often display an S-curve life cycle. One explanation for this is that initial progress is slow because the principles of the technology are poorly understood. Once researchers get a better understanding of the technology, progress accelerates rapidly. High visibility phase. The second phase in a technology product's life is high visibility or innovation. When a product is launched for public use, it becomes highly visible for consumption. Technology vendors ship high volumes of products, typically to technology enthusiasts who want performance. The technology life cycle and marketing growth. When technology reaches the market, it generates income. Technology development. Market does not recognize the technology at all. It has zero response, spending significant amounts of effort and money to create the technology, develop prototypes, and test the new technology should reduce this time period. Application launch. Market volume follows the path of technological progress characterized by slow initial growth, followed by rapid growth. Application growth. Penetration into the market will depend on the rate of innovation and the market needs for the new technology. Mature technology. Mature technology is a popular term for any technology for which any improvements in deployment are evolutionary rather than revolutionary. Technology substitution. Companies that continue to use the old technology in this phase will be faced with a shrinking market share and fall in revenues. Technology obsolescence. Technology has little or no value. Let's now talk about multiple generation technologies. Technology, like all systems, has a hierarchy. A system can consist of a number of subsystems, and each subsystem may have a number of components. Technology need not consist of a single component or derive from a single innovation. Technology can consist of multiple technologies and derive from different generations of innovation. The personal computer is a technology and has a technology life cycle. It consists of several sub-technologies. Marketing strategies for a PLC. A firm hopes to extend the product's life and profitability, even knowing that the product will not last forever. During a product's lifetime, a firm will normally reformulate its marketing strategies several times. Not only do economic conditions and competitive situations change, however, in addition, the product also passes through new stages of buyer interest and requirements. Let's now discuss technology and market interaction. Interactive marketing is a concept that has its basis in the idea that the ability to hear and comprehend what a customer wants and needs, and to successfully convince the customer that his or her wants are understood, will result in the creation of enduring business relationships that are rewarding to both parties. From this perspective, interactive marketing can be seen as a strategy that promotes open and complete communication between the provider of specific goods and services and the target audience that is most likely to be interested in those products. Creating this interactive dialogue requires the business engage in activities that promote efficient two-way communication and keep those avenues of communication open at all times. Science technology push. Science provides the base for technological development, which in turn creates new market innovations that ensued from the technologies caused by major industry upheavals and completely changed the markets. Some actions that happen between online material and a user can be initiated in one of two ways. Others are initiated in one way only. The initiation methods are referred to as push technology and pull technology. Push technology involves data being automatically delivered to the computer of the user, either on a schedule or based on some triggering event. Pull technology is the opposite. It involves a specific user request to move the data to the user's computer.
At its best, the Internet flows with us in real time. It helps organize and shape our day. And it reaches us everywhere, even without a device. We love things that save time, and the faster they work, the more we use them. Information is most powerful when it's live and relevant. We value it and act on it. Even more so at work, where fresh information is priceless and the speed of transactions is critical. We gravitate to the fastest, most seamless sources of content and information. There's no space or time for anything slower, but there's a world of opportunity for something faster. Everyone wants a real-time experience. It means different things for different people, but the difficulties in delivering it are the same. For many sectors, the web poses big challenges. Sending mass data over limited connections to an array of different devices is a real headache. So they build big, sophisticated systems with large pipes. But it's soon outdated, a cost burden, and a restriction on innovation. At the same time, smart companies are using diffusion to deliver super-fast data to any device, and it's reshaping markets. The betting firm that streamed live in-play prices to millions of remote adverts during the World Cup with minimal infrastructure. The large airline that extracts real-time data from its legacy system, providing cutting-edge new services over the web. When the U.S. credit rating was downgraded, sparking an explosion of trading data, push technology helped banks handle it with ease. We enable these companies to be anywhere, instantly. They can send any feed to any device while reducing architecture and costs with low to no latency. But it goes far beyond reducing costs. It's about reaching new markets and enabling innovative new services. For example, with instant two-way data, you can monitor and respond to customer behavior in real time. You can improve the performance of online games and enable cross-device gaming. You can target bettors with dynamic ads based on events as they unfold. We enable you to push any content over the Internet quickly. And you can merge that content to create exciting new services. Most importantly, we future-proof your scalability. Push technology, delivering the real-time Internet experience.
Market pull. Technology is often developed to meet a market need or demand stimulated by consumers. Most of the technological developments stimulated by market pull are of an incremental nature or represent improvements to existing technologies. It has a cumulative effect and can have a tremendous impact on productivity and competitiveness. May provoke major breakthroughs when there is a strong collective demand for a solution to a specific problem. For example, the vaccine for H1N1. Opportunity for market pulls technology. Market demand. Proliferation of application areas. Recognized needs. Opportunities for increased profitability, quality, and productivity. Entrepreneurs. Now let's talk about the product lifecycle. The product lifecycle is represented as a simple bell graph that plots product sales over time in a way that provides guidance to a product or marketing manager as they allocate company resources and determine strategies and tactics. Lifecycle. The product lifecycle shows that all products will eventually become unprofitable. The product sales and revenue go through 4 distinct stages: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline, and that each stage requires different product and marketing strategies. Introduction stage. A product manager introducing a new product must build end-user awareness of product benefits in a way that connects the market and the product. Growth stage. During the growth stage, the product manager works to create brand preference and grow market share. He will do that by modifying the product based on market feedback or research that lets him focus on additional user needs. Maturity stage. Sales growth slows and generic competition appears. The product manager works to defend market share and maximize profits. He may enhance product features to differentiate the product. The selling price may start to erode under competitive price pressures. Decline stage. As sales and earnings move down the curve towards break-even, the product manager will attempt to recreate it by adding new features that bring additional user benefits, creating a new product, or will search for new or different uses for it. Competition with product and process innovation. Consumers tend to focus on product innovation, the introduction of a new good or service that is substantially improved in functional and technical characteristics, ease of use, or any other dimension. For example, a faster acting pain remedy or a better tasting soft drink with fewer calories. Competition in mature technology. As the technology approaches the maturity stage, the rules for competition change as the competition switches from being based on innovation to being based on price and quality. Process innovations tend to dominate, and they assume greater importance in achieving a competitive edge. Companies compete by introducing product lines into segmented markets. Companies rely on economy of scale to reduce price. Specialization and production efficiency within companies assume greater importance. Only firms with dominant markets tend to survive. This favors large companies. Mergers and acquisitions of companies assume greater importance in company strategies. Large organizations with mature technology tend to be rigid, bureaucratic, and multi-layered. Such a structure often impedes innovation, and it's a threat to sustainable success. Companies with mature technology become subject to increased competition by those who have lower production costs, lower labor rates, or lower overheads. This introduces international competition as a major factor. Competition at different phases of the technology. Since products are not living beings, why do they have life cycles? The reason is that society accepts products at different rates, but all go through similar stages of societal acceptance. This acceptance of innovations by societies is called the diffusion of innovations. As society begins to adopt and accept an innovation, the new product grows, eventually reaching maturity. When there is a better alternative to the product, or when public preference changes, the products will enter a decline, possibly ending with the death of the product. 5 categories of people are: innovators. The first people in a society to adopt a new product are innovators. These people are risk takers and may be looking for new products to try. Early adopters. The early adopters have many opinion leaders in their ranks. They are the first people in the neighborhood to try a new product, and many of them willingly pass the information about the product on to other people. Early majority. Once the early adopters have tried and given their approval to a product, the early majority will begin to grow. 34% of the population is in this category. Since they represent such a large percent of the population, the adoption by the early majority causes the new product to enter a period of rapid growth. Late majority. After a significant portion of the population has adopted a product, the late majority will consider its use. These people are not risk takers. They typically wait until they see the product approved by others. They also represent about 34% of the population. Laggards. The last category of society to adopt a new product is generally fearful about trying new things. Often, they wait until being forced to adopt because the alternative product is no longer being produced. The laggards represent about 16% of the population. Now let's talk about the diffusion of technology. Diffusion is the process by which an innovation is communicated over time through certain channels to members of a social system. Diffusion scholars recognize 5 qualities that determine the success of an innovation. Relative advantage. This is the degree to which an innovation is perceived as better than the idea it supersedes by a particular group of users, measured in terms that matter to those users, like economic advantage, social prestige, convenience, or satisfaction. The greater the perceived relative advantage of an innovation, the more rapid its rate of adoption is likely to be. Compatibility with existing values and practices. This is the degree to which an innovation is perceived as being consistent with the values, past experiences, and needs of potential adopters. Simplicity and ease of use. This is the degree to which an innovation is perceived as difficult to understand and use. Trialability. This is the degree to which an innovation can be experimented with on a limited basis. Observable results. The easier it is for individuals to see the results of an innovation, the more likely they are to adopt it. The diffusion communication channel relationship. Adopters of an innovation are influenced by 2 types of communication channels: interpersonal, word of mouth, and mass media channels. Interpersonal word of mouth. Number of users expands during the early phase of the diffusion process and declines during the second half. Mass media channels. Greatest in the early phase of diffusion, but occurs continually throughout the diffusion process. The innovation decision process. The innovation decision process is an information-seeking and information processing activity where an individual is motivated to reduce uncertainty about the advantages and disadvantages of an innovation. The innovation decision process involves 5 steps: knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmation.
Innovation is the lifeblood of any organization. Innovation enables companies to adapt to market and technology changes, survive recessions, and create whole new market opportunities. Innovative companies generate higher profit margins, higher stock values, and they create more jobs. Not surprisingly, many procedures, processes, and techniques have been developed to help map out innovation. But being innovative is not just about adopting some procedures. Think of what companies went through to create supply chain management, Single departments like procurement or inventory management that used to work in isolation were linked up into a company-wide system to manage everything involved with production, from buying parts to delivering finished goods. And when you have a system, people in all the departments can get together to continually improve this company-wide process. Just like supply chain, innovation is not something that single departments like R&D can do off in a corner. Innovation also involves the entire company working together in a coherent system. Innovation management is a discipline that organizes work to create and maintain this company-wide innovation system. Definitions highlight the essence of innovation management. Invention is the generation of novel and useful ideas. Innovation is the transformation of those ideas into a package of features and benefits. This package must meet customer needs with wow, cool technologies and designs that really solve customers' real problems better than anything else. Innovative companies must continually weave together technologies, design, marketing, and other key specialties into whole products, whole technology platforms, and a whole company.
Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. The S-curve is a mathematical model also known as the logistic curve. It describes the growth of one variable in terms of another variable over time. S-curves are found in fields from biology and physics to business and technology. Technology businesses such as computer, software, and electronic manufacturers often display an S-curve life cycle. One explanation for this is that initial progress is slow because the principles of the technology are poorly understood. Technology, like all systems, has a hierarchy. A system can consist of a number of subsystems, and each subsystem may have a number of components. Interactive marketing is an approach that just about any business can use. Local brick-and-mortar operations can use the approach to attract more customers by helping clients see themselves as important to the success of the operation. Science provides the base for technological development, which in turn creates new market innovations that ensued from the technologies and caused major industry upheavals and completely changed the markets.